there, Ultizeta here, and welcome back to more Let's Play Pokémon Emerald version. In the last episode, we did New Mauville and got a shiny Magnemite. To my immense shock and surprise, it was unexpected. It is still unexpected. That this has happened is just incredible to me. But it's enough getting hung up on, like, excitement and surprise. We need to get back into Pokemoning and that involves probably fighting this water trainer who is going to utterly die. Because I have an electric type for the first time since Zipsop. So prepare yourself for the bane of your existence. How the tables have turned. Probably. I noticed that I don't believe that I'm resistant to water because of the steel type I have. That seems to be the case, because I'm not seeing the... No, that wasn't very effective thing. Which is certainly a thing to keep in mind. Just because I'm strong against water doesn't mean that it's not weak against me. I'm not a usual electric type, I'm an electric steel type. Hi! Ulti? Are you gonna give me a Latios? It's me, Steven. We met in the cave near Dewford. Have you met many kinds of Pokemon since I last saw you? There are many, many kinds of Pokemon in this world. You only want to raise only your favorites, that's fine. Perhaps you find it more fun to raise all sorts of Pokemon. As a trainer Pokemon, what do you think? Of course, it's not any of my business. It would be nice if we meet again somewhere. Okay, he's keeping the Latios for himself. For those not in the know, it's a joke about the remakes, because they just kind of hand you a Latios and... or Latias, I don't know, it's one of them, they just kind of give it to you. Might be dependent on the version you have, whatever. It's kind of dumb that they do it, it's whatever. Although, Steven there does give me a topic to talk about and discuss that reminded me of a thing. There's a thing that you can do in this game that I haven't done yet, that I kind of have just kind of ignored thus far. Pokemon contests. They're this neat little thing that's like, they're just kind of, you show off for, you use your moves to show off for judges, and they, like, compare it to three other Pokemon that you're attacking, and it's like, not attacking, it's like a fashion contest, a dog show, I don't know. So that's kind of like what the cool, cute, beautiful, those things have been for on, like, the moves screen. When I scroll that far enough for that. Like, that's kind of what that's all about. They're neat, I like them, and I was going to show one off at some point. There's a lot of routes here. I'm just gonna heal up with my items, because I don't really want to just walk all the way back already. I can use my regular potions too. There's berries. Here they are. What the heck? I don't care. Alright. They're cool things, but I feel like the problem with them is that, Pokemon in general is all about the battles. Like, every Pokemon game progresses through battles, every Pokemon game wants you to do battle stuff. So, it's like... It's a bit awkward that they have these things that are like, hey, you can do this thing or that thing or the other thing. But then they don't really bother embracing it. Like, Pokemon contests are kind of pointless in this game. You don't really get anything from them, other than the satisfaction of doing them. And, like, it's disappointing in that regard, because it's like, I think Pokemon contests is cool, and I think Pokemon embracing the idea of, hey, there are other things you can do with Pokemon in these games. There are other things you can do in this world with Pokemon. Like, they keep trying to push that angle in a lot of these games and situations. Ow. They keep trying to push it. And, like, I feel like if they just bothered to really focus in on the idea of, hey, we could do more than just battling with these guys. Let's give that a shot. He has a Hyper Potion, because of course he does. Why wouldn't he? Sorry, I'm trying to kill this thing. There we go. It's just disappointing that, like, they have these side things, and they keep trying to do side things from here on out, basically. Like, every game kind of has its own little attempt at a side thing. But, like, the Pokemon games don't really embrace it enough, I'd say. And I just think that, like, that would be a really, like, you know, the thing in X and Y that a lot of people really didn't like with the friends and stuff, how it was, like, all, like, there's tons of them, it was kind of pointless, and, like, oh, coming up with a good saying? Here you go. Thank you. Like, there are the friends that you have in X and Y on 3DS that are just like, hey, I want to be a Pokemon Master. Hey, I want to be a Pokemon Dancer. Hey, I want to be a Pokemon Breeder and Collector or whatever. I don't remember them exactly. If I really remember specifically, it's the dancing one. But, like, just comparing that, looking at that idea basically and going, what if that were a legitimate way to go through a Pokemon game? I feel like that would be a really good way of shaking things up and making things feel, I don't know, different, unique, interesting, like, more than just, hey, I'm constantly battling and nothing else. Like, battling is fun, it's still an RPG, like, it's enjoyable, but, like, I feel like if they're going to try and go a route of you can do more than just battle, I think that that's worthwhile. I think that would be a would be a worthwhile, like, change to the Pokemon games. Shut up, whoever you are! I think that would be a decent attempt, because, like, every time they do add something like this, like the Pokemon contest, which we haven't seen, it's not as if it's mandatory to experience them, it's not as if the game leads you to them, like, It's just kind of a tent you can enter, and it's there, and I don't even remember where the first one is. I probably passed it completely unintentionally. I did want to show them off, but I don't know where they are. And I know you have to do them in order, so I don't know where the first one is in particular. But just, in a general sense, I think it would be a really nice thing to try out. To emphasize, like, more than just battles in Pokemon. Especially because Pokemon as an RPG is not the most robust in existence anyway. Like, it's just kind of a more basic RPG when you come down to it. It's not Final Fantasy or anything. Like, it's not that I'm saying that they're bad RPGs. They're nice ones to get into, and I find them enjoyable, but, like, there's not enough of a... I feel like as Pokemon goes on, basically, there's not necessarily enough of a reason anymore to actually play them, I guess. Like, a lot of the reasoning, it's not necessarily for the gameplay anymore. I mean, just look at, like, this is coming out after the game's out, obviously, because, like I said, this is being recorded in December, but, like, I'm recording this in June, and, like, think about how much of... I don't know which way to go in this place. Do I want to go to the right or to the... Let me check the map. I can go up to Fort Tree, or I can go right and get to whatever this is, and then Mount Pyre. And the Safari Zone, apparently. I think it might be worth going up to Fort Tree. And then back over down this way. So let's give it a shot. You can't even run in the tall grass. But yeah, like, I feel like if they were to try and, like, embrace the idea of that you could do more than just battling with Pokemon, you could do other things as well, I feel like that would be genuinely interesting and a legitimate change. It doesn't affect you? Are you part ground type? Okay. I guess you're part ground type, maybe. Alright, well, Lilac, get out of here. Also, these are much higher level Pokemon than I was expecting to fight, which is nice. It's actually really interesting. That's a different topic, since I feel like I'm kind of done with the other idea. Pokemon Emerald's been kicking my ass, as you probably have clearly seen. And I find that really kind of interesting, how... In some ways, it does feel like a good sequel. I think this game would be fairly rough for newcomers, which is probably why I never actually really played much of it. Because I remember back as a kid, the farthest I ever got was like Dewford, the island area where you fight Brawly, and he was the first gym leader who I had significant struggles with. Like, I feel like this game, more than anything, does have different emphases, I guess, is the best way I can put it. Like, in the earlier games, and in certain situations, the later games, like, most of the time you can just use, you can just have a strong type advantage, and that'll be that, and that'll be easy, and that'll make things go by well, and there's a lot of different ways of doing that, but, like, or just leveling up, doing grinding stuff. But I think what Emerald has done is, like, make it so that most of the time what's really preventing you is less the idea of levels, because I have never really truly been significantly underleveled. I've been underleveled, but not like to the extent of, if I was doing this in Gen 1 or 2, I would be totally fine, I think. Maybe not completely fine, but finer than I have been. But like, here, I think the interesting thing is, a lot of these Pokemon are using very specific moves that make things challenging. Brawly had like the, whatever it was, that made it so that like, all of his moves, all that Makuhita's moves were like, destructive and murdered you. Like, and that made it tough. That made it tough to fight that Makuhita. He wasn't significantly high level. He was high leveled, but he wasn't significantly so. He was just kind of moderately high leveled. But because of that, he destroyed. Who was after? Who was the third gym leader? Watson. What did Watson even have? Watson, I guess, just had Shockwave, which made it so that you couldn't really make things inaccurate, I guess. But then Flannery had Overheat. And like, I wasn't worried about Flannery, because I was like, oh, I'm perfectly fine leveled comparatively. Like, I'm under leveled again, but like, I should be fine, right? And then Overheat happened, and Overheat destroys, because Overheat is a super incredibly strong move. And so it's like, I actually do like that change in difficulty, because like, you can have a strategy that doesn't necessarily require grinding for this stuff, like, that's for sure. Like, my strategy involves grinding, because I don't want to like change up Pokemon too much. I don't want to attempt to use different Pokemon, etc., etc. I like having this team set up, so it's like, part of my issue is just because like I'm playing this Pokemon game the same way I play all these other Pokemon games, and this time it's just not quite working out with the rest of the game. I don't know what Wish does. Didn't seem to have any effect, but okay. I have lost my train of thought. Yeah, the games are hard, but I'm not, when I say that, I'm not really complaining necessarily, it's just, it's really interesting. Oh, there is backspace. I'll use a repel to get a super repel. That makes sense. The games are tough, and I like that so far. Like, the grinding, in a way, has kind of just been because of my own personal preferences of how I try to play Pokemon games. But if that's not necessarily the only way to play these games, and I feel like that the way these gyms are being set up, and in some ways the way the levels of Pokemon are being set up, it's kind of emphasizing just trying to do other strategies. To me, in my head, I think, at least. And I like that. I like that a lot. I don't like the idea of Sonic Boom. So yeah, I do genuinely like that a lot. And I think it makes it worthwhile. Like, I can see why this game is so memorable for people too, because like, sometimes really challenging things are more memorable. Like, if you think about it, who's the most memorable gym leader of Johto? It's Whitney, because everybody has problems with that Miltank. On some level, and even if you don't, like, you hear everybody else having these problems, so it just makes her stick out in your mind more. Who are the most memorable gym leaders of Kanto to me? I remember trainers like Sabrina and Misty and Brock more than I do Lieutenant Surge and Erica and Blaine. Like, so I just find that really interesting. Like, I feel like Gen 3 so far is actually pretty damn memorable because of just how tough it's challenging you. It's basically going, hey, you need to play well for this stuff. And I like that. As a sequel game, I think it works significantly well. Now, I do think that it's a little bit trickier to judge when it comes to if this is your first one. Although, then again, I'm also playing Emerald, and I don't know how much difference there is between Emerald and Ruby and Sapphire. Because I think Emerald did change up some trainers. It could have made things harder, for all I know. It could have made things harder in Emerald. Which would be a good way to make a third version, honestly. To make it harder than the first two, for the ones who have played it. So maybe I shouldn't necessarily just judge this also on the idea of this is Ruby and Sapphire. This is everyone's first introduction to Hoenn. And it's not. This is technically the revisit to Hoenn. This is the Emerald version. I guess I've fought all the trainers down there. Hello. Anyways, yeah, that's really all I wanted to say. Like, if I talk about the difficulty, like, I'm not trying to be negative. I can see why some people might have problems with it, but for me, it's mostly just a positive. Like, it's like, we're having a more challenging Pokemon game, and that's neat. Anyways, I've shown off a lot of battles so far. I've been recording for 24 minutes, actually, interestingly enough, so I'm gonna start cutting battles out. So, yeah. You don't get to put to sleep my bird. Only Unira is the bird that gets to sleep. Okay, this person wants to Pokénav. That effect is messing up on my TV. That bridge was, like, dying for me. Pokemon Rangers? I didn't think these guys were around yet. Did Pokemon Ranger, the original, did that come out before Gen 4? I like Pokemon Ranger. I'd be actually interested in revisiting that game. I'd have to rebuy it on, like, the Wii U Virtual Console, because I beat that game 100% and then a friend stole it from me. I say friend, but he wasn't really much of a friend. He was just, one day in, like, I think it was elementary school, he came over and visited, and I showed him DS games that I had, and then, ever since then, I had not had my Pokemon Ranger game. So, joke's on him, I already got the Manaphy from it. But yeah, I'd be interested in doing that. Would you guys be interested in seeing a Ranger Let's Play? Okay, so I killed those true trainers. I can bike up here. I think I'm gonna try and go until I find this Weather Institute, because I think I'm close to it. Maybe? I don't know, honestly. Have we seen this guy yet? I don't think we have, actually. This is Tropius. He's cool. He's like a banana dinosaur grass thing. I like him, and now he's dead. Maybe someday I will use one, but not now. I already have a grass type in Shalo. Okay. Let me check my map. Where is the Weather Institute? Is it further north? It's still further north. Recording for 28 minutes. What the hell is up with this? Oh. Alright, I'll fight this trainer now. I'm gonna keep this in just because it's the first monumental time that Sheila is being used in battle. And she murdered that Numel. Congratulations, I have a counter to water types now. Knock off! What is that gonna be? Knocks down the foe's held item to prevent its use. Okay, no thank you. Knock off, learning knock off. Alright, it's been a while. I'm just gonna end the episode here. And next time on Let's Play Pokemon Emerald, we'll continue down this route, find the Weather Institute, do that, all that good jazz stuff. I just kind of want to make sure that things don't go over estimate time of around 25 minutes-ish. So, yeah. See you guys next time!